Okay, so imagine this. Your roof suddenly starts leaking water. Do you grab a bag of cement, run up there, and try to fix it yourself? Or do you immediately look for someone who actually knows how to do the job? Well, obviously, you call the expert, right? And when you hand that worker their money, you don't ask to see their college degree. You literally only care about their skill. Welcome back to this explainer. Today, millions of people in our country are running in this strange race. They think that if you want to earn extra money or build a side income, you absolutely must sit in front of a computer and learn coding or video editing. But honestly, the real world is so much bigger than a computer screen. There is a massive market all around us practically screaming for skilled people. So today, we are going to completely change how you view your own abilities. I'm going to show you exactly how to take the skills you already have and turn them into a highly sustainable side income.
So let's really think about that leaking roof scenario for a second. It sounds simple, but it actually highlights a massive blind spot we all have. When the pressure is on, when you've got an urgent, real-world problem right in front of you, paperwork means absolutely nothing. You are paying for a solution, not a resume. And this proves that out in the real world, everyday practical skills have an immediate, undeniable cash value that we just constantly overlook. And this brings us right to what we like to call the modern hustle trap. These myths are everywhere now. We're told over and over that the only way to get ahead is to glue yourself to a laptop, learn some complex software, or become a digital nomad. But look at the reality. There is a massive, incredibly lucrative offline market right in your own neighborhood. We are so busy staring at screens that we're completely ignoring the physical world that desperately needs manual, practical, everyday skills. You see, we usually think of earning money as climbing this massive corporate ladder, right? It's exhausting, it's competitive, and it's so slow. But what if we shift that mindset? Earning money is actually a lot more like a key. If you possess the right skill, which is your key, it doesn't matter what the lock looks like or how big it is. That skill is going to open doors for you. It's all about practical problem solving, not just blindly climbing steps. Let me tell you a fascinating story that proves this perfectly. Meet Kashinath Ji. He's a 60-year-old tailor from Benares who's been stitching clothes for 40 years. Now, you might be thinking, what's new about a tailor? Well, here is the secret. When massive, wildly expensive city boutiques completely ruin the design of a highly intricate bridal lehenga or a sherwani, they panic. And where do they run? Straight to Kashinath Ji. They know his experienced hands hold a magic that no machine, no computer software can ever replicate. He never took a fancy business course, yet his small shop earns him more every single month than what many people make sitting in air-conditioned corporate offices. Why? Because he took his skill and turned it into something the market desperately, constantly needs. The crucial takeaway here is that the market does not care if your job looks fancy or VIP. It just doesn't. Imagine you're the only person in your entire neighborhood who knows how to quickly fix a flat tire. In that exact moment, you become the most essential person in that area. People don't negotiate. They don't ask if they can pay you next week. They will gladly hand you cash instantly, thank you profusely, and leave. Because the market speaks the language of necessity, plain and simple. So think about how you can repackage a regular skill you already have. Let's look at two carpenters. They use the exact same tools. They have the exact same basic training. Now, the standard carpenter makes standard, everyday chairs and struggles to compete with every single other shop in town. But the modern carpenter notices a shift. He sees that people today want customized wooden stools or maybe vintage-looking storage boxes. So he uses just a bit of imagination to give old wood a fresh look and sells it directly to homes or on the internet. It is the exact same skill, but it has a completely different market value. That is the power of repackaging. Which brings us to this really fascinating trend. Traditional skills that were once considered just common, everyday chores by our grandparents are now completely exploding in value. I'm talking about pottery, hand weaving, intricate wood carving. In massive cities like Delhi and Mumbai, these things are now considered vintage and premium. People are literally willing to pay thousands of rupees for authentic, handmade items that people in villages used to just do in their free time. The skill itself didn't change at all. The audience and how much they appreciate it did. We also really need to let go of this misconception that a bigger degree equals a guaranteed higher income. The reality is counterintuitive, but it is undeniably true. A degree only gets you to the interview door. Money actually goes into your pocket when your hands can instantly solve someone else's problem. Think about it. When you call a plumber at 11 p.m. because a pipe burst, you aren't paying for their paperwork or their college certifications. You are paying for the peace of mind they bring right in that stressful moment. You are paying for the skill. Let's look at another brilliant example. Take a college student named Rahul from Bhopal. While all his friends were constantly stressing out over finding internships and landing jobs, Rahul took a totally different path. He always loved tinkering with old watches and electronic gadgets. Whenever a Bluetooth speaker broke or a phone camera got dusty in his hostel, everyone went to him. He didn't charge much, maybe 50 or 100 rupees a fix, but because of his skill, he quickly became known across campus as the gadget doctor. He easily covered all of his weekly expenses without ever stepping foot into a traditional office, simply by solving immediate problems for the people around him. And hey, it's not just college kids either. Take Sarita Jai, a housewife in Delhi. Her simple hobby was just keeping her balcony full of beautiful green plants. Well, one day she helped a neighbor save some dying plants by sharing a few basic tips. That sparked an idea. She started a small service visiting nearby houses to set up their pots, recommend the right fertilizers, and care for their plants. Today, she visits just 3 or 4 houses a week, and her little hobby has completely transformed into a fantastic, highly profitable side income. She didn't have to learn a single new thing. She just applied her existing knowledge exactly where it was needed. Now, if you want to succeed like Sarita Ji or Rahul, there is one massive psychological pitfall you have got to avoid: the half-baked skill trap. People get this burst of motivation. They try welding for 5 days, decide it's too tiring, suddenly switch to learning how to cook, and then jump to something else a week later. The result? You remain an uncompetitive novice at everything. If you want a reliable side income, you must dive deep into one specific skill until absolutely no one around you can match the quality of your work. Mastery is what actually pays.
Okay, we need to talk about the elephant in the room right now. The fear of what other people think. You know, what will my relatives say if I start a sofa cleaning service? Look, drop that fear immediately. When your pockets are empty, not a single one of those critics or relatives will step up to pay your bills. But the exact moment you start earning real, hard-earned money through your skills, those same people will be the ones coming to you for advice. Never, ever be ashamed of honest, skilled labor. All right, so let's get right into the practical playbook. 3 simple steps to turn your everyday skills into income. Here is an action plan you can literally start today. Step 1, look inward. Grab a pen and write down any task you genuinely enjoy or do slightly better than others. Are you great at fixing old things? Do you have a knack for house layouts or caring for plants? Step 2, feel the pulse of the market. Walk around your neighborhood and figure out what's missing. Is it impossible to find a good carpenter? Is there a lack of washing machine repairmen? And step 3, start small. You do not need a massive shop or a heavy loan on day 1. Just tell your friends and neighbors how you can help. Focus entirely on the quality of your work and building trust. Because when 2 people praise your work to a third, your business is going to start running on its own.
Once that money starts coming in, you have to keep this principle in mind. Earning money is an art, but maintaining it, that's a discipline. When your side income starts flowing, do not just spend it all immediately. Reinvest a portion of it back into your skill. If you sew, go buy a faster, better machine. If you're a plumber, upgrade your tools. That strategic reinvestment is the exact discipline that turns an ordinary gig worker into a highly successful business owner. And honestly, this leads us to a complete redefinition of job security. Remember, the most secure person in the world isn't the one sitting in a fancy corporate office. That job can disappear in a single email. True job security belongs to the skilled worker. Even if they lose absolutely everything today, their skill remains safely in their hands. They could wake up tomorrow morning, step outside, and start earning again immediately. That is real, untouchable security. So we want to leave you with this final, vital question. What hidden skill are you going to polish today? Seriously, stop waiting for the perfect degree or the perfect corporate moment. Dust off the talents you already have, look at your neighborhood with fresh eyes, and take action. The market is waiting for you. Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and we will see you next time as we uncover more incredible insights.